and welcome to the We Are LPS podcast, all things Lawton Public School. I am your host, Lynn Cordes, and joining me today is our very own superintendent, Mr. Kevin Hime. I am so excited to have you here today.
I'm so excited to be in Lawton and excited to join the podcast.
Yay! And today we have something really exciting to talk about and important to talk about for our families and staff that are out there, and that is our reentry plan for the school year.
Yes, reentry for the school year obviously is a topic that everyone's discussing. You hear schools all across the state and even the nation putting out reentry plans. And although we're in our process of putting out a plan, we don't have anything set in stone, but we want to make sure all of our parents know, first and foremost, we're working towards safety of all of our students, safety of our staff, and safety of all other people involved in the educational process.
And it was important for us today to have this conversation because there's a lot of just anxiousness and unsure of what the future looks like. And so just to share with our parents, will you remind them of the three options? I know we're going to have some meetings as we continue throughout the summer months, but we have a lot of options for our families to continue their education here at Lawton Public Schools. So what are our three frameworks?
Well, first of all, we're going to have the traditional framework. That's where we'll restart school in August, like we started school in August of 19, in August of 18, and August of 1995, basically where school is as it has always been. Second is the blended, where parents can have their kids in different activities. They can do some online or some virtual learning, as well as some at traditional learning. So it's going to be a blended of the first and the third, and then the third is a virtual learning. Now, the virtual learning, the advantages you have is you can still be involved, and it would be considered blended, but you could do the majority of your learning home, but you could still maybe take art or band or music or different things at your school.
And for our high schools, it would be concurrent as well?
Yes, concurrent, career tech, and some of those things. Again, the ideal is create as many options, as many pathways for students as we can in order to make students and their families feel safe about getting educated. So, there's a lot of contention out there because obviously March 12th was the last day Lawton's kids went to school, and it's going to be a long time kids have been at home, and we know kids need to be at school. We know that social interaction and those relationships are part of the learning process. So again, we're going to do everything we can to make them safe. We're starting to put out surveys to find out what parents want, what they feel comfortable with. We're going to put them out to our adults as well. And we want to try to build up on that to meet the needs of as many people as possible.
Now, we ended the year with distance learning, and I know some parents are, confused about what it will look like in the future. So can you explain the difference between distance learning and the virtual option that we have for the district as we move forward?
Well, in years past, for most grade levels, all the standards are taught by spring break. Everything after spring break is a review and a preparation of state testing and then field trips and such. So there wasn't a lot of standards that teachers needed to teach after March 12th. So there was a lot more review and try to keep the kids located. And it was also a learning process for our adults and some of our families and how this distance learning would look. There were no new standards introduced. So the difference would be if someone went virtual, they're going to get direct instruction, they're going to get standards introduced, and there's going to be an expectation to learn new material. And that's probably the biggest change it would be. So, we're going to put together a plan where even our kindergartner kids that need that, we can meet their needs with direct instruction of learning new materials from a virtual platform.
And we've had a lot of push about Lawton Virtual Academy, the LVA, for grades 6 through 12, but we want to reassure our parents that our pre-K through 5th will also have the opportunity.
Well, we're looking at K through 5th. Pre-K is a little, we're still looking at how would that look for pre-K. So right now we're looking at K through 5th, having, expanding the virtual academy to those grades. Again, we're going to strongly recommend the traditional, but there are going to be those that we will recommend the virtual just because of their personal situation or family members or the comfort level of that family or their parents as to getting them back into the day-to-day routine.
Now, for those that are coming back in the traditional setting, we did push out a survey earlier this week, and they shared some of their concerns and had questions about what the district was doing in regards to safety and procedures. So can you talk about sanitation stations and things of that nature?
Yeah, we've had those discussions, and one of the things we're going to really work hard to do is have the hand sanitizer dispensers in every classroom, in the hallways, and just readily available. Obviously, we've purchased more of the fogging machines that disinfect things so that the custodians can do that at night. So we're looking into those. The probably the biggest contentious one out there that you're going to see is mask. Because there's some that just don't feel comfortable wearing masks. If you pick up and read, there's some reports that say, how effective are masks? Do they really work? Do they not work? And so, we're going to follow the CDC in how that develops in the next month as to say, well, we're going to require everyone in the building to have a mask or a face shield, whether we're not going to require everyone to have, and it's going to be as you feel comfortable. So that's going to probably be that's probably the biggest variable we have left. As far as sanitation stations, we're planning on having sanitation stations everywhere. As we speak today, breakfast and lunch would probably be in the classrooms to keep those in smaller settings. Like recesses and assemblies would be very limited. Instead of having one giant one, maybe 3 or 4 smaller setting ones, depending on the size of the students that were attending that particular assembly. So those things are pretty well, set as far as the social distancing the best you can, having teachers spread out the desk in their classrooms. So I would say the biggest variable left is mask, because you're going to, probably like a lot of things in America today, 50% of the people think we should wear a mask and 50% think we shouldn't wear a mask.
Right. And what about temperature checks? That's been a question as well.
We're really looking into that, because some of our elementaries and our neighborhood schools, checking temperatures is not going to be that big of an issue. 200 kids, 300 kids coming in, whereas at a high school with 1,000 or 1,200, we're looking into some thermal imaging machines and some of those things. Technology is developing fast. The biggest issue we're going to have with that, can we get those things? We're ordering thermometers and some of those things, and some of those rapid thermometers that everybody is seeing. Can we get those things in hand? We're going to discuss making sure all of our bus drivers have their temperature taken before they drove the bus, getting our bus drivers some different safety precautions, so that they were comfortable with our bus drivers, and the adults before they start contacting kids.
Okay, is there anything, I know we're going to talk to Dr. James about our staff soon, but what is it that you really want parents to hear from your message today?
I want parents to understand we're going to do everything we can to keep their kids safe, and we're going to do everything to meet their needs, because, just because I feel that my kid would be safe in this situation does not mean you feel your child is safe in that situation. Therefore, we need to come to an understanding where when you bring your child to Lawton Public Schools, that you feel safe. And so we're going to work hard to create those options, however they are, that you feel safe. But yet again, we offer your child as many learning opportunities as we can. We know that taking extracurriculars and music and PE and some of those things away that you struggle with keeping in a virtual setting, those things have value where we wouldn't offer them. So we've got to find a way to offer as many opportunities to our students while keeping them safe and making sure the parents are comfortable with them being safe. So hopefully our parents understand we're working on that, and we're going to encourage parents who have major concerns to have those discussions with their building administrators and their teachers and such, as to how can we do this to keep them safe. And so that would safety is going to be it's just going to be our number one issue.
And it's something that we continue to talk about, and things evolve as COVID research continues. So we're not stopping our planning, and we're not stopping our preparation for the new school year. So, it's important that our parents continue to stay up to date with what's out there that we are pushing, and participate in the surveys so that we can best serve you and your student. Mr. Hime, thank you for coming on today. We've got some more people to talk to.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, and so we'll be right back after this break. Thank you. Hello and welcome back. We are here with our Chief Operating Officer, Dr. Jason James. And in this segment, we are going to talk specifically about our staff. So I'm excited to have you here. Welcome.
And Lynn, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited to be a Lawton Public School employee, and I'm excited to be here for this podcast.
Yay. Okay. So earlier in our segment, Mr. Hime talked about the reentry plan for our students. Let's discuss what it's going to look like. Some of our staff are already back at work and have done so safely. Can you share for those that are still away for summer what it's going to look like for them and some of the measures that we're taking?
Yes, at Lawton Public Schools, our number one priority is to keep our faculty and students safe. So we're exploring all the options that we can to maximize staff safety and not interfere with our primary mission of providing an adequate education for our students. So safety is our number one goal. And so we're meeting daily to come up with ways our staff can come in and be safe. And the thing is that data's changing all the time. It's rapidly changing. But the good news is we still have about 60 days until the majority of our staff returns. So we've got plenty of time to put all these safety situations in place.
And we've talked with Mr. Hime about the sanitation station.
Yep.
We know that there's still some discussion about masks and whether we have everybody or, the ones that are comfortable wearing them.
I mean, one of the things that we're doing, making sure we do, is we have hand sanitizer in every classroom, and making sure all of our kids will have plenty of access to hand sanitizer, like before they go eat breakfast, after they eat breakfast, before they go eat lunch, and after they eat lunch, before they transition to classes, coming in and out of the building. So we'll make sure we have plenty of hand sanitizer. We'll make sure we have plenty of custodians on staff to sanitize where kids are. We're going to try to do everything we can to limit those interactions that take place where we have to violate the social distancing thing. For example, we want to put sneeze guards up on all of our secretary desks, so that way when parents come in, that we'll have some plexiglass sneeze guards just like they see at the bank or at some of the restaurants now. We're gonna make sure that we have temperature checks for our bus drivers and our cooks before they come into the building. We're exploring all the new face mask options for our adults, especially some of the clear visors. We're gathering that information. Mr. Hime talked about the thermal scans that'll give us an idea of who may be having a temperature without having to be invasive. So we're really exploring a lot of options to make sure our people are safe.
Now, we do have, our survey that went out.
Sure.
And so from the survey results that we're seeing and tracking in, what are some of the things you want to share to our staff about their concerns?
Well, we want them to talk to their supervisor because we're trying to make the best decision we can make for our staff. And the only way we can make the best decision is if our staff communicates with their supervisor and gives us the best information about them. We can't make good decisions if we don't have good information. So we want our staff, if they have any special concerns or circumstances, to talk with your supervisor, talk to your immediate supervisor, express those concerns and situations so that can be relayed to our meeting. We have planning meetings weekly on how we're going to best serve our staff and keep them safe, and we'll use that information to make good decisions.
Awesome. Is there anything specific that you are hoping to get from the surveys, or other than just, their concerns, but, is there something that they can do in the meantime during the summer to prepare for the school year?
Well, just to keep in contact with us, and so that way we know what's going on in their lives. And we want them to provide us with accurate information and tell them what's going on, and so we can tell them what's going on, and so that we can basically have everybody relax a little bit. Because right now, fear and of the unknown and uncertainty is driving everybody's imagination, and I completely get that because your health is your health. But we want to make sure that we have time, and that's a good thing for us. And as COVID changes, as information changes, as the experts unify more on what is the best practice, then we'll put those in place. Because, like I said, our number one priority is to send all of our kids and all of our staff home at the end of every day as safe as they were when we got them. And that's our primary goal. And so that's what we want to make sure we accomplish at Lawton.
Thank you, Dr. James. Is there anything else you want to add?
I'm just glad to be here. I'm a Southwest Oklahoma guy all my life. I've always viewed Lawton as a special place, and it is, after being here a month, it is a very special place, and I'm excited to be here.
We are excited to have you and to continue the great work with our staff and for our students. So thank you guys for joining us. We are going to have another segment later on to talk more about the 3 virtual options or the educational options for our students. So Dr. James.
I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
It's the key is the flexibility that our parents actually can customize their child's education to every situation that they may or may not come up with. I'm really excited about the flexibility that our traditional, virtual, and blended option affords parents.
We're excited too, and we hope you guys are as well. And continue to check our Facebook, our website, and update your contact information because we'll continue to push out surveys as we go on through the summer months. And we look forward to hearing from you guys. So, Dr. James, again,
Thanks
you
for having
for
me.
joining me. And for We Are LPS, I'm Lynn Cordes, and we will see you next time. Thank you.